The amazing truth about Dorothy Dale Kloss's life is that she's still peaking. Seriously, her graceful style and positive energy, which is easily felt if you're in the same room, is probably the secret gift to the many years of her great success as a professional entertainer.
Everybody needs a beginning, and it's nice to be part of that giving sometimes, because it certainly has come back to us.
Oh, yes.
I mean, in many ways. I mean, you know, I think that everybody thought when I left the Palm Springs Follies, and I never talked much about my career, and a lot of people don't relate to me, which is kind of sad, in the 40s. But I was a star I played when Sinatra, good old Blue Eyes, when he was at the Paramount and all the girls were screaming.
Right.
I was at the Strand Theater with Eddie Duchin. I had just come back from South America. I was there a year at the Copacabana Palace in Rio.
Gosh.
You know.
Wow. And that's a famous club. It still exists probably.
Oh, I don't know. Well, yes,
I
the
bet,
hotel.
the Copacabana?
Well, it's the Copacabana Palace is the hotel.
Right.
And then they had the big showroom, you know. But, I mean, those were glorious days. And then we came back, and then we went to Mexico City, and I worked with Cantinflas there for about 8 months.
And who was that?
He was a famous comedian who did Around the World in 80 Days. Wow. You know, and so I was very lucky in that respect. But everything, you know, hinges on Palm Springs Follies, Palm Springs Follies.
Oh, that was just at the end of, that was totally after your career.
Well,
actually.
I went into it when I was 71.
Right. It was just giving you something to do, pass the time. In a way, I mean, it was not your main gig.
No, it wasn't.
No,
that's
knew
what
that.
I'm saying.
I knew
you
that.
know.
Yeah.
But I think, and I tell that in the book, but you know, I think what's so amazing is like Riff. He used to, when, you know, I sent him a tape when my son was getting transferred, he and his family, to Philadelphia. And I went, I'm in LA, and what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I was teaching, you know, and the girls that I was teaching had seen this show and said, you should be in that show, Dorothy. Oh, I said, you know. Then when Craig said to me, Mom, you know, I'm being transferred. And I went, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I'm tired of teaching. I love teaching, but you can have too much of it, you know?
Now, you're saying teaching tap.
Teaching tap. And ballet I did, too. But anyhow, and I was trained in both of them. And so I thought, you know, he was leaving in January 1st. When he and his family left, and I went, oh. I thought, this is what I mean about young people focusing and not, just don't let rejection, you know,
get in your way.
Get in your way.
It's not a big deal.
Because I went, aha. That was in the back of my mind when these students had said, you should be in that show. It's everybody over 55 years old. That was the magic word. Over 55, you know, and I was way over 55. But anyhow, and so I sent Mr. Markowitz a tape. And I did it in the studio, and very corny. And I thought, why not? I had a bunch of adult ladies that could tap dance like son of a guns. I had them like 4 or 5 years. And I thought, this will be fun. And I was in front of them, and I had and they wanted to do it. And I sent them this tape, and then I sent them a single tape. And the next day I got a call, and he said, you know, I'd really like you in the show. And he said, but I want you to come to the audition in LA. And he said, let's talk. And I said, fine. And so Madeline Clark's dancing school in LA. And oh my God, there were 200 people a day auditioning for this show. So the choreographer was there, and they're just all fighting for the front line. And I'm like, oh, why? If
They're
you've
fighting
got it,
for the front line.
They're fighting for the front line. And I went.
Yeah.
So I went in the back and leaned against the bar, you know, the ballet bar back there. And it started. And the choreographer, Gene, was sitting in front, and he had a bad foot. And he was trying to explain what he wanted. And all of a sudden he said, the blonde, you in the back. And I went, well, there was a wall behind me.
Okay, but it was you. You were in the back.
And he said, you know, come on, come here. And I went, you. And I walked up. But he had my resume, you see.
He knew that you would be able to
see.
take direction and
So
show everybody.
He said, would you do me a favor? You look like you know what you're doing. He said, would you do it for me? He said, I'll tell you some of the things and then you take over. And I went, okay. So we did. And at the end, Mr. Markowitz called me over and he had my resume and he said, so Dorothy, it says here you're 70. Is that
I know
true?
you didn't look 70 because you don't look your age right now. So you probably look 48 at 70.
I wish I was 70 again.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, that's true. And he had a good sense of humor. And he said, when will you be 71? And I said, in October. I says, I never heard of anybody getting hired because they're older.
Yeah.
You know. And he said, so let me ask you, are you married? And I said, no. And he said, would you like to be? And I said, we'll talk. And that was the end of our conversation. He said, I'll call you tomorrow. And that was the audition. And I got the job. And then I was there for 15 years.
The romantic and talented Ken Prescott, co-host of Two for the Show, tells how he met his co-host, dance partner, and mate for the very first time.
Dorothy and I met, it was my first year at the Follies. She had been there several years, and we immediately were attracted to each other because we both love tap dancing and we both love to laugh. And there weren't big laughers there. You know, in fact, there was dressing room here and dressing room there, and we'd meet in the center. I said, come to my office. We meet in the center and we'd laugh, you know. And it just frosted them because they couldn't figure out, you know, people, when you're happy, there's two things people can't figure out. Why you are, and they're annoyed that you are. You know what I mean?
Well, they're jealous.
They're yeah.
Which should
So
not be the
it
case.
shouldn't be. So we just had a great instant relationship, and it's just continued on to this very day.
That's an awesome thing to say.
I mean, you know, and I think that's one of, we have a great act called Two for the Show, which we do tap numbers. I sing a lot. We have media that goes along with it, which is great. We do ballroom numbers, and I lift Dorothy and stuff. And we just got our radio show, Two for the Show, and it's on.
That's the name of the show.
It's the name of the show.
Two for the
and it's
Show.
on. It's being produced by a fellow in Long Island, Eric Koppelman, a great guy. And we do it here live in Palm Springs, and then it's archived. It's on. Can I give him the plug?
Of course.
It's on www.wliny.com. Now listen, you guys, when you go on the computer and you go you click on the link, and then you click on our picture. And what will come up, if you're listening to it live, it's live at 11 a.m. Palm Springs time, 2 p.m. Eastern, or just click on the archived interviews. We've had, so far, we've had Donnie Most from Happy Days. Susie,
oh, how fun.
Oh, he was great. We had Susie Cadam from original Dean Martin Gold Digger. We had Gigi Perot, who was a big actress in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. We had Kathy Lennon of the Lennon Sisters this week. Next week, we're having Henry Krieger, who wrote Dreamgirls. We're having Bill Jones from Glee, Frank
You have
Stallone.
all of these top people.
Great people.
And that's because of your backgrounds.
Yes, I knew most of these people.
connection.
Also, I think it celebrates the golden age of entertainment. And we're not necessarily meaning you have to be 100 to be on the show.
No.
But they exude the golden age of entertainment. And I think people are missing real entertainment, and the show is
absolutely,
not.
I agree.
We don't just talk. There's a musical opening. We have some jokes.
Really?
We do the commercials because we're sponsored locally by 3 sponsors.
Fabulous.
We
Good
play
for you.
songs. Then we interview the guest. Dorothy has great stories. I may play a couple songs I've recorded. We have a musical ending. So it's a show. It's a variety show on radio.
Both of you are so creative, so talented, and the reason why you are, I believe, is because you keep doing it. You stay youthful you're still creative. You're still writing.
I've written 7 musicals, and Dorothy does write her parts of the script. We collaborate together. I just co-authored parts of a new musical about Glenn Miller that's very close to being funded and it's going to go on the road.
It's so exciting.
So it is exciting.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! No, it's great fun. But we do write this. I want to make it clear that it's a real script for the radio show. It's not just, hey, how you doing? We've had a lot of great compliments and I mean, a lot of them. And one girl said, it sounds like you've been doing this all your life, which is wonderful. Now we have, but not in that particular arena.
Right. We want to enjoy life.
Yes, of course.
And bring joy to our life.
And you know, Dorothy is so funny, and she has all these wonderful stories. And now that we've gotten into like the 4th segment, we can ad lib with each other, And
oh yeah, you two would be amazing. I can't wait to listen.
Fun.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you have a turning point you'd like to share, please call the number at the bottom of the screen. Through life's ups and downs, it's easy to get lost and stuck in negative thought patterns, which can sometimes make us feel like we're failing.
What we can do is pause, choose our thoughts, and realize we can be kinder to ourselves and always choose positive. It literally will change your life.
Have a wonderful week.
And thank you for watching.